So, welcome back here on a Friday. We're here Finance Friday with Rob Morales, our CEO Network. Coming at you live at the lunch hour. Definitely missed our timing, but hey, that's what we're here all about. It doesn't matter. Being here on a Friday, we talk about finance, talk about money. My guest today, he is the one, the only Lerma that I know, which is honestly the truth. Mr. Francisco Lerma? Oh, shit. Are you one of those guys that's really big on pronouncing the last name kind of thing?
No, not really. Everybody messes my name up all the time.
Oh shit! Like I run across these guys, especially like in the Hispanic culture, where it's like a big deal. It's like can I talk to Hector Trujillo? Trujillo? Like no, no, my name is Trujillo. We're like, okay, whatever, dude. So it's like super ego sometimes with pronouncing names. So I don't know. Yeah. I go by Morales. So I can go like Morales, but just whatever. I feel like I'm
doesn't fit you
being composer. No, really?
No. Morales.
I like more or less. Morals.
Yeah. You gotta have some.
They ever call you Lima or something? Like
no.
You hate that?
I don't hate it. I've never been called it.
Oh, shit. I'll be the first. Mr. Lima. Just kidding. Francisco Lerma, you're here today to talk about finances, talk about money. We're not here to talk about last names. But we were talking a little bit. You are a real estate agent,
right?
Correct? With
Real Broker.
Real Broker.
Right.
That's a separate brokerage than, because you started off with HomeSmart.
HomeSmart, then I went to Realty One, and then I ended up at Real.
See, I thought you were still at Realty One.
No, well, it's Real. Yeah, I've been with Real for a little bit, a few months.
So is that your own brokerage or is that something separate?
Yeah, it's not my own. It's just been with them since I think March.
You have your own brokerage? Is that what it is?
They have their own.
Oh,
it's their own brokerage.
I have no idea. I have no
Real.
knowledge about it.
It's kind of hard to say because it's Real. I gotta kind of explain what Real. No, it is a Real Broker. The name is Real.
Oh, R-E-A-L.
R-E-A-L.
Not like real estate or something.
Yeah.
Just real.
Yeah.
Whatever. So the nuances of the name, but the reason we had you on today is to talk about kind of that journey. A lot of people in this pandemic and the things that have happened over the last couple of years decided to take on real estate. I saw this news article my brother sent talking about like people getting into real estate because it serves the interest of like the single moms and people living at home, working from home, because it's so easy, right? I mean, during COVID, during all the lockdowns, people weren't going out and working. People wanted to stay home. And real estate was kind of a convenient way to work from home, right?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you started off in law enforcement. I started off in social work. And we crossed paths, right? How did we cross paths? May I inquire, sir?
Well, you were my first deal in real estate. My very first.
I broke the cherry. Huh?
Yeah, basically.
To all you ladies out there that are pursuing, for instance, I broke his real estate cherry. So.
Well, it is what it is. No,
but not in one of those ways. Just.
Not in those ways. But no, it was you made it a pleasant transaction. I learned a lot, and we maintained a friendship since 2017.
Yeah, and I remember like the hesitancy because you were still on that, I think a lot of people that want to branch out on their own are stuck on that idea like, hey, I need a job, I need something stable in order for me to explore this kind of career, this something different that is obscure because like, and and everybody else, I don't know if everybody else knows, but when they get into real estate, it's like, okay, so you want structure, you want somebody to tell you what to do, but that's not really the case, is it?
No. As you jump in and, some people have a structure, some people like teams, so on and so forth. I just jumped in, and everything's history from there. So, it really helped out to have somebody like yourself kind of guided me because I was able to ask you questions, so on and so forth. Okay, what I do? I was freaking out. Like, what paperwork do I need?
I'll tell you the truth. I really didn't know myself,
and that's okay. But you made it seem like you did.
Well, it goes back to social work. It's trying to serve somebody. At that point in my career, I think I was about 3 years in by the time you started, and I knew some things. I didn't know everything, and I think to a large degree, I still don't know everything. But I saw somebody that wanted something bad enough to escape. I mean, it was such an ordeal to overcome that fear because we talked about fear before we got on the show. Is overcoming that fear of like not having something stable.
Right.
We all want something stable, but. It's hard to break away and be in this business. I think it's more creative.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, fear becomes real for a lot of people. But like you said, creativity and being able to help each other. You know, we build a relationship, which is really what the business is about: building relationships.
And that's the meaning of today's show.
Oh,
you know,
good.
the one thing that I wanted people, especially entrepreneurs out there that are watching the show or who are mindful of even starting a career in real estate or whatever it is, you know, I have come and Francisco will tell you based on our relationship that it is relationships that really carry you forward in everything that you do. And really relationships equals to opportunity.
Right.
So the more you're able to foster relationships, there's just more opportunity. It doesn't have to be about selling shit. You know, I've never sold a house. I have physically. I mean, come on. But what I mean is I've helped people transition through whatever it is they're going in life. You know, a lot of the times people are selling not because they want to, it's because they have to.
Right.
You know, there's some sort of life event, a spouse dies, there's a divorce, shit hits the fan and you have to sell because you need the money.
Right.
You know, that's 90% of it. And a lot of real estate in itself is not selling the house. It's helping somebody through that process because now they're looking for stability, you know? And then when I saw somebody like yourself, sir,
Thank you.
you just needed a little push. You just needed that little confidence to say, you know what, fucking just do it. And you'll be fine. And have you looked back since?
No, I mean, look back in a good way. You know, I'm being thankful for all the decisions that I made, obviously. But it's taking a leap of faith and just doing it. You know, a lot of people do think, okay, I'm going to get into real estate and make a lot of money because other people, they focus a lot on what they see on social media and, you know, the fancy cars,
the lifestyle,
the lifestyle. And so they think, oh, I'm going to do real estate. It looks easy. Or I'm going to do it because they see that part of it. But it's like what people do. They don't post their worst moments or all the failures prior to. They don't post those things on social media. So, you know, is it easy? No. Is it worth it? Yes.
It takes a while. When do you like? So I'll give you a number, but when did you feel like you actually had a business?
Probably year 3.
Yeah, I would have said year 4 for me.
Yeah, I'd say year 3 is when it blew up for me. When I went in, obviously I was a police officer for, you know, quite some time.
Yeah.
So what I told myself, even if I sell one house a year, it's 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, whatever the commission may be. That's money I didn't have in my account, so I'll just put it in savings because I was on that paycheck to paycheck like a lot of people are.
Yeah.
And so one, then it became 2 deals. Next year it tripled, and then the following year it doubled, and then continued to double. And I mean, like you said, you know, the rest is history. But it's something that I'm definitely grateful for. You know?
Yeah. I'd say, you know, in terms of relationships, the way I got started is my ex-wife. She was in banking, and so two of my first deals. My first year, I did a part-time. I had 4 transactions. 2 of them were from the ex, you know, who's like, hey, you should help this person, you know, and little did I know that they were from one of our banks, whatever. But the other 2 were mine, you know, and they were just friends. One was a friend from work, from social services when I did CPS. The other friend is the husband of my staff that needed to sell his house in Mesa. So that was my very first listing too. But if you tie it all back, it ties back to the people you know. It wasn't all this fancy marketing. You know, I had one suit in my closet at that time, and I did social work. I only had one suit for court. And it wasn't like sized or anything. It wasn't like glamorous, but that's what I took photos of initially. And they were the worst freaking photos ever. You know, and again, it's like a lot of it ties back to relationship. There wasn't fancy marketing.
No.
You know, I didn't have a Ferrari that I could take a picture next to a big house or anything.
But you were yourself.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing.
And I think that's really the key to all this stuff. So if you guys are exploring, you know, are interested in doing real estate, I mean, reach out to us and we kind of, I think if there was 2 people that were more honest about this business, it'd be you and I.
I'm very blunt. Very, very blunt.
I know. That's why I'm saying
you
it.
know that about me.
It's so many, oh my God. So like when you first got out of school, how many brokers came up to you and were like, hey, you should come and join us. Yeah, we have all these things. We have so many things, so many great things that we're here to. We have education, we have the teams, we have the support, and then you're like, oh shit, you finally sign up with one, right? And then you're like, oh, where did all that? Where did
all the help? Where did it go? Hey, all the promises. Where are they at? And that's the scary part. Then real estate is cool. It's checking a box is really what it is.
Yeah.
You know, the real stuff, the real experience is going to come on the field. Just like police work. Honestly, some of the stuff we learned in the academy, I was like, put that to use in real life. It's not going to work the same way. You get the experience once you're on the road. Everybody's different. But like you said, all relationships are different. They don't tell you, hey, build relationships. They don't tell you nurture your relationships. They don't teach you those things in real estate school.
Yeah.
That's either you have it in you to do it, or you learn it, and you better learn it.
Well, it's such an obscure thought, right? It's like, how do I build a relationship? It's like, I called them, 4 times and they didn't answer.
Yeah.
I sent out, 4 mailings and they didn't respond. Yeah. I sent out 8 texts and like you said, and they're not calling back. It's like, that's not relationships.
No, it's not relationships. And they don't teach you, okay, what works for one may work for another, but or it may not, At the end of the day, I've never spent a penny on, I don't know, for a lead. I don't do the whole cold calling. I've done maybe now 3 or 4 open houses in the amount of time I've been doing real estate. That's it. Some may argue, well, you're doing yourself a disservice. Yeah. Well, good for you. I mean, that's what worked for you. Doesn't mean it's going to work for me.
Yeah.
Do I think we should? Yeah. So we can learn, especially if you're new, so you can learn how to talk to people, how to manage an open house. You want to learn the craft if you're going to be teaching it. So at the end of the day, it comes back building relationships. What's most important in real estate.
Well, and I think people really have to start off with understanding their value. And as we talk in these obscure kind of notions, and you probably heard it on 40 memes, do better, think positive. And it's like, well, okay, I'm going to try to think positive, but I have all these negative thoughts in there I can't get rid of.
Right.
I need to build relationships, but how the hell do you do that? A lot of that's really going through this process and journey and really discovering yourself, and it was like a lot of my stuff, and I'll share with you since we're on the show and everybody's watching.
Yeah. All right.
Is just going out there and finding value. It's not something that's inherent necessarily.
Right.
It's a belief within yourself. And in the course of things, the things that I've been able to bring to the market, I don't know if it's this podcast. I don't know if it's like the photography, video stuff, but in my journeys, I've been neurotic about understanding more and knowing that sharing those experiences, like how to take a photo. I know people aren't going to pick up the camera and take it. But I am neurotic about trying to figure that out and take photos of them. And then on top of it, once I figure out how it functions, try to capture the moment in their emotion, in their smile, and make them feel good about taking the photo. So I do some edits and stuff too, but I want them to walk away feeling like, hey, I feel like $1 million fucking dollars. I might be 50 pounds overweight. I might have a double chin, but fuck, I look good. And that's really the key, I think, to a lot of relationships is really that feeling you have with somebody when they're in the room, when you're in that present state with them. Yeah. I think that's really key. That's really key to the relationship part is how do they feel when they walk away from you? Do they feel sold? Like, oh, I'm the best agent. I can sell 40 houses this year. Well, that's great, but can you make me feel better about like where I'm at or at least not alone?
Well, people smell bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
People smell bullshit. If you're not yourself, then they're going to call you out, and if they don't, they'll just walk away from you. At the end of the day is, was that person, they'll ask, is he genuine? Does he care? They got to trust you because it's not like buying a candy bar.
Yeah.
It's one of the biggest transactions, especially in real estate. There's a lot of trust that goes into place.
Well, you're not buying a house, you're buying a dream, man.
Right.
You spend, a good part of your life, your first 20 years buying really what's an investment. I mean, we're here to talk about finances, but we kind of veered off a little bit.
Just a little bit.
You're buying a dream. You go up your whole life and your parents tell you what. You find the person you love, the love of your life, you get married, you have the kids, you have the dog, you buy a house, right? That's really like on the list of goals. And so from a very young age, that's something you attain to.
Right.
And people disregard that, especially in the industry that we're in. It's just like, how many leads can I get? How much volume? And I'm sure you come across it too. It's like every time you meet an agent, it's like, well, I did $4.2 million in volume last year. Well, how much commission did you make?
Right.
Well, I made 20 grand, but because of my broker fees and my splits and my team agreement, I made 20 grand. It's like, well, why are you gonna be a poser, man? Like 4 million doesn't mean anything. It just sounds impressive. But that's what a lot of this industry is.
And then not only that, we know that,
Yeah.
but people that aren't in real estate don't know that. So now, are you doing them a disservice by not being genuine and frank about it? You know,
Yeah.
they think, oh, I have this hot shot, but in reality, you're full of shit. Rather be blunt. and you know, it's good to be, because I mean, at the end of the day, these are people's lives.
Yeah.
So it's not about us. It's about giving them a great experience, about making sure they trust us, building the relationship, and don't treat them like a transaction. At the end of the day, keep tabs, keep in touch, build a relationship. It's a friendship right in front of you.
Yeah.
You make it bloom or you don't. And if you don't, that's a loss.
Do you believe in God?
I do.
So like in the Bible, and again, I'm not trying to get religious or anything, but in the Bible and every interview that I've had, it's like, I'm here to serve somebody. You're at the service, you're at the mercy of somebody else, right? You're here to serve somebody else. And in the interviews that I've had, with Child Protective Services and investigations, one of the most common things I would ask is, what do you feel your purpose is here for? And hands down, 99.9% of the time, it's like, I'm here to help somebody.
Yeah.
They just don't know how to. If we're all here to help somebody, we should be in a way better spot than we are now.
Yeah, you would think. You would think, right?
Yeah.
So, but I agree. I mean, it's what's the purpose?
Yeah.
You got to find that in you. So back to finances.
Yes. Are we focusing too much on that? So you're in you've built a team. You have a real estate team. You have a couple agents on your team, and that is far beyond what I've accomplished in my time. I try to start a team myself, and the reason you start a team is to kind of continue that dream, that progression of your business. You try to expand.
Quite honestly, I built a team, and it's still an ongoing process, but I want to help them grow. I want to make sure that they feel success. I want to make sure they make money. I want to make sure that they can take more trips with their families. Yeah. At the end of the day, it all encompasses that aspect. So that's my way of serving to them. So, yeah, obviously I structured my team a lot different than pretty much almost every team out there.
Yeah.
So that they can feel, hey, this person's I'm not working for him. I tell them, stop calling me. I'm not your boss. I'm none of that nonsense. I'm your partner. We're partners. We're here to grow together. If you can grow, I'll grow. If I grow, you grow. And that's the way I want to structure it, because there's my way of thinking is I don't want to get successful. I don't want to be wealthy if it means stepping on people's heads to do it.
Yeah.
We can help each other. And I think stronger together, you are stronger. So
starting a business, I mean, like I said, I think the first thing in the whole line of business is to branch away and to accept fate, whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever it may be.
Yeah, I mean, I think the reoccurring theme when it goes from getting something stable like a 9-to-5 job into something entrepreneurial is to take that leap, however that is. When you're ready, I think
Yeah.
And really, you're never ready.
I mean, everything's evolving, changing all the time.
Yeah.
We're constantly having to change. The economy changes, everything changes. So it's not always going to be the same. If it is, then you're going to grow stale. You got to, be willing to adapt and learn. And, me and the whole videos and all that I'll share that right here, right now. But I don't like doing videos.
So you hate doing podcasts? Is that what you're
Never done one. I've never done a podcast, never done a video of those things that you show, TikToks or whatever you call them.
Yeah.
So, no.
I mean, it's part of the thing. You do have to expose yourself out there, and that's the challenge, I think, especially somebody from social work who didn't necessarily even want to promote themselves. That's why the whole Yoda thing started. I put Yoda up on the platform so I didn't have to be there. I would take pictures of Yoda in houses so it wouldn't be me looking stupid or ridiculous or looking at my bags. The bags in my eyes still bother me, by the way.
I see them later. Yeah, I see them right there. You look great, man.
And thank you. But you just get over and say, screw it. It's just who I am. Real estate is really just a projection of who you are. Unfortunately, if you want to have a real estate career, you kind of do have to project yourself in some way. Well, which is, you have to get over it. I mean, that's just bottom line.
That, and one of the things that I've learned, and I learned this from my dad, and advice from good friends of mine, in order to be successful, also you do kind of have to look the part. And what I mean by that is take pride in how you look, your health. Take pride in looking clean at least. You know, brush your teeth. I don't know, wash your face. But take pride in those are the things those are common sense things. I would imagine, right?
Well, it's just life things. I mean,
you would think they teach that, or that you learn that as no. Well,
I've seen too many agents that are like all smoking and their teeth are all messed up. And
see, but so that agent walks into, for example, a high-end home, what you call a luxury home. How much faith are you going to have that agent can get the job done? Not much, But I don't know. It's my opinion. Just have some pride in yourself and take care of yourself. We are our own worst critics. I am my own worst critic. But like you say, you don't like the bags in your eyes. I mean, there's a bunch of things I don't like about myself. But it's just saying, you know what? I don't give a shit. I am who I am. Hopefully my personality carries me, right? As they say, oh, he's not cute, but his personality is so sweet. And I'm like, yeah, well, who knows?
He's got a good personality. Well, that's like the killer. Like anytime you meet somebody, like, oh, they got a great personality. I'm like, oh man, how bad is it?
It is what it is. But at the end of the day, you build more relationships by your personality than your looks. Your looks only carry you so far, right? If you have looks, other people, we're not all blessed, right?
Yeah.
But if you're nice, you're honest, you're blunt, you give a shit about people, and they know that you care, that will carry you a lot further, so.
Oh, I absolutely agree. So you think we're in a recessionary environment then?
I think we've been in a recession.
There's so many pullbacks, so like as we transition, we're on the latter end of the show. Ideas and things as far as overcoming these things. Because in real estate right now, I'm starting to see a pullback in buyer demand.
Right.
And, listings, sellers, I'm not necessarily seeing aggressive listings coming up. I think what we're experiencing is just average listings. It just happens that the buyers are pulling back. So you're starting to see this these numbers come up as far as listings go. But I don't think we're getting like over listings. We're not getting more than we would normally get.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, the other thing that's happening, listings are lasting longer on the market now than they have been in the past couple of years. You're starting to see sellers willing to give concessions. For those who don't know, concessions are help towards their closing costs, so on and so forth, or buy down the rate. I've seen a lot more of that lately. So, I mean, that's what I've seen, and some dips in prices too. You've seen a lot of people. Yeah. They missed the wave, is what I call it. They missed the last wave where they can sell their house top dollar. I've seen people lower 20, 30K, 40K, and they're still sitting in the market.
I lowered a listing 90K.
I was going to say, I just saw one lowered 150,000, and it's been on the market 92 days or so.
Yeah, it's just a reality of our environment. But as far as a business owner and a team lead, what kind of adjustments are you making in regards to your business to I guess modify or anticipate the upcoming? I mean, I'm personally not seeing a whole lot of impact in my business. If anything, I'm getting more listings, and I'm trying to have those conversations. But the only difficulty I'm having right now is sellers not accepting the reality of where we're heading. And so right now I have about 6 listings. One's under contract. So, and they're just sitting there, and I've had those conversations. So, we have a lot of headwinds as far as what's coming up, so you have to think what is my business going to be, 6 to 9 months from now. And for me, a lot of it is marketing or being creative.
Right.
Because you do have to extend yourself still, but you want to be on top of everybody else. And in these recessionary environments, you do see a lot of pullback in marketing too. I think if you look at Facebook right now, if you look at Meta, they've had their stock price decline, and they've had pullbacks in advertising in the last 2 quarters.
Yeah.
And that's why they're declining as far as a company. But I'm starting to see that more and more with even with us too. I'm not getting in demand as far as video work through RCO. As I was, several months ago. The big pullback is the stuff that's discretionary. Marketing tends to be discretionary. I don't know what you have going on as far as the team goes, or
quite honestly, my business hasn't. I mean, I've been blessed, and I always say thank God for everything I have. Period. End of story. But I haven't been affected too much by it. As far as sellers, here's what I literally just texted this to one of my last sellers.
Yeah.
I said, thank you for trusting me and listening to me.
Yeah.
It's our job to study the market and see the trends, what's happening. Sellers also, we have to be blunt with them. Like, hey, I know you feel your home is worth this much, but the home is worth what the market says it's worth and what the appraiser is going to come and what somebody's willing to pay. So if you overprice your home, then you're probably doing yourself a disservice. And there's a lot of agents out there that don't make these promises. Yeah, I can get it sold just to get the listing. To me, that I call bullshit on that.
Yeah.
And I think it's disservice, dishonest, and straight up, you're affecting somebody's livelihood. And it's our job to educate our sellers to what the market says. So that's how I'm very blunt about this is what I think and believe based on comps in the market. This is what I think we should list your house at. But it's lower. I know it's lower. But if you do a higher, your house is going to sit. The longer it sits, it doesn't take a genius to figure that one out.
Yeah.
You lose ability to negotiate. You lose ability, it diminishes the ability for you to sell your home at the price you actually even want it. How do you listen to me from the get-go?
Yeah.
So it's all about trust and educating our sellers. Same thing with the buyers. So the good thing, I would say, is a good time for buyers. They're able to negotiate a little better, get a little bit of help towards concessions and buy down rates, and maybe finagle here, a few $1,000s down, less than the asking price. So as long as you are blunt and educate your clientele, whether seller or buyer, then you should be good.
Yeah, and have you heard of 72 sold?
Yeah.
They're all over the place.
Don't get me started.
Oh boy! So I found out this week, and we're going to be wrapping up the show, and actually these last couple weeks, 72 sold isn't a brokerage. It's a marketing company, and the reason I go back to that is because if you're an entrepreneur and you're seeing kind of the writing on the wall as far as a pullback and discretionary. I mean, our whole economy is built on discretionary spending. Right. You don't need a car every 2 years, but they sell you on that shit. My mom, she called me. She's like, "Hey, I think I'm gonna want to buy another car." I'm like, why? It's only been 4 years. That's actually a long time for her. But our whole economy is based on discretionary spending, like bullshit. Yeah. Like all the stuff you buy on Amazon, like I bought like Ice Cube, Star Wars Ice Cube, like the Death Star Ice Cube.
Do you feel you got a deal, huh?
No, those sucked, by the way. I had to return. But I mean, so much of our economy is spent on BS stuff, and when our pocketbooks are hit, we pull back on that spending. And, and in that environment, it's like, oh, how do I still sell these products? And a lot of it's creativity. So back to my discussion with 72 Sold, very much so creative in their way they pitch stuff.
Very much so.
Because I had a client reach out to them out of frustration because they hadn't sold their home in a while, and they thought they were like an open door where they get a cash offer.
You mean it didn't happen in 72 hours?
It did not happen in 72 hours. But the thing is, if you look at their marketing, it says 72 sold. It doesn't say 72 hours sold. It just it says 72. So the intent, I guess the idea is that possibly it could sell in 72 hours, but it really isn't. And they do all these things, and it is really good marketing on that. If you go to their website, there's 0 houses listed on their website.
It's genius, and they did a phenomenal job. I mean,
and it worked during that environment too.
I'm gonna hate, but I admire that.
Yeah,
I was like, you know what? Damn it, why didn't I?
But you know what? It goes back to like, how the fuck can I beat that?
Right.
How can I do better? And you need to branch into video. That's the takeaway from that, because a lot of their stuff is videos, testimonials. And there is 0 houses sold on their website. Yeah. And they refer out to brokerages. And when my client got that listing presentation, it was like a 7% commission. That was their starting one.
I know.
And just like nuts.
And again, it goes back to honesty.
Yeah. But again, it's like it's so creative, and it gets attention, and it gets people in the front door. But again, goes back to one value, but ultimately relationships. And that's what you're here for, sir.
Yeah, honestly, that's my forte. It's the relationships. I love maintaining a friendship with my friends. I bug them if there's cookouts. Is it hard sometimes to keep up with so many people? Yeah, but I try my best, and I hope they know that, obviously. And if not, I'll still send a text message talking some shit. Hey, where's the carne asada at? Or
where is the carne asada? Yeah, I never got that, by the way.
No, well, you need to treat your people better.
I'll talk about you. But we're at the end of the show. Do you have any last words, sir, to share, or anything that's on your mind that you want to, say to our audience?
Yeah, no. If you're looking to get into real estate, be realistic, do your homework. It's not easy, but it's worth it. And not only real estate, but if you're as far as finances go, during the times that we're in right now, try to keep liquid money. Be smart in your spendings, create a budget, and that's it. I mean, I wish everybody luck out there. So.
Yeah, not financial advice. We're not financial. We're
No,
just a couple
I'm not
YouTubers.
Financial advisors. Nope.
We don't give CPA. Explore that with whoever that is in your life. But I appreciate that word, that sentiment, sir. Yeah. So if you've been inspired by Mr. Lerma coming from law enforcement into real estate, follow him on Instagram. Here, he prefers Instagram. Francisco.lerma.realtor. Look at how many followers you got. I don't even think I have that many.
No.
You're a good man.
Thanks, man.
So go to here. He's moving and shaking, and coming from the background that he came from, to be as far as you are in a small amount of time, it goes back to what we talked about, relationships. So I appreciate that, sir.
Thank you.
So we'll be coming here every week. I think maybe, I don't know. Friday's been kind of weird lately, but I've been busy. I know Francis has been busy. But if you want to follow us here, go to ourconetwork.com or Our CO Network on Facebook. We also have a YouTube channel. Go and subscribe there and follow us and get information. And we have events and other things going on. A lot of things. But Finance Friday, we'll catch you guys next week.
Next week.
Adios.